Alka-Seltzer.
First.
Fast.
And always.
For first aid to fast relief from headache, acid indigestion, and cold misery, always rely on Alka-Seltzer, made by Miles Laboratories, who bring you, transcribed, One Man's Family. Overheard between Clifford and Henry in the library.
Gosh, Dad, that's wonderful. Is it okay if I tell Maudie about your plan?
I want you to tell her, my boy. I had you both in mind when I took it under consideration.
Huh? Had us both in mind?
Yes. But, Clifford, if anything should develop between you two, I hope you will make it clear to your mother that I had no part in it.
So that's how it is with the Barbours today.
Alka-Seltzer.
First.
Fast.
And always.
Alka-Seltzer is first aid for relief of acid indigestion. It's fast-acting and always dependable. Remember that when you eat too much and acid indigestion is the result. First aid, fast-acting, always dependable. Alka-Seltzer for relief of acid indigestion, first, fast, and always. First, drop 1 or 2 Alka-Seltzer tablets into a glass of water, watch while it fizzes and dissolves, then drink the sparkling, refreshing solution. See how fast Alka-Seltzer can relieve the distress of acid indigestion. How you can always depend on Alka-Seltzer to act to reduce excess gastric acidity. Remember Alka-Seltzer for relief from acid indigestion. First aid, fast-acting, always dependable.
Ask your druggist for Alka-Seltzer.
First.
Fast.
And always.
Chapter 15, Book 82. Clifford's energy that was dormant for so long has been unloosed into a flood of activity, and he is reveling in his success as a salesman for the Elkhorn Realty Company. Hardly less enthusiastic is his father. When Clifford comes into the house after work, Henry Barbour is eagerly waiting to see him and to smile upon him. But he had more than a smile and a hearty welcome for his son tonight. Father Barbour made plans for Clifford's future today, and he has just outlined them. So at this moment, Clifford's already high spirits are soaring up into the stratosphere.
Gosh, Dad, I just can't tell you how marvelous it sounds.
Yes.
Is it okay if I tell Maudie about it?
I want you to tell her, my boy. As a matter of fact, I had you both in mind when I considered taking this step.
You had us both in mind.
Don't misunderstand me, Clifford. Now, I don't wish to influence you in any way with regard to Miss Pemberton. Your relationship with her is something that's entirely between you two. Yes. If anything should develop, I hope you will make it clear to your mother that I had no part in it. Yes, I'd like you to feel that I neither discouraged nor encouraged you, eh?
Oh, yeah, sure, Dad.
However, you must be aware that I hold the young lady in high regard, which is neither here nor there, of course. But we can't overlook the fact that she has been of immeasurable help in helping you to find yourself.
Oh, she sure has. I'd still be spending my days on my derriere if it hadn't been for her.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I told her I'd be over this evening, so I better hop to it. But I certainly didn't know I was going to have news like this to tell her. Oh, it'll knock her right off her pins.
Clifford.
Yeah, Dad?
You must make it clear to her that there is nothing absolutely definite in this, as yet. I have not concluded the arrangement nor signed any papers. You understand that?
Oh, yeah, I know.
And I think it would be better if we don't say anything to your mother about it just yet, eh?
Okay.
Oh, not that I want to do anything behind her back, but this is purely a business proposition, and I would feel better about it if I'm left free to handle it as I think best, particularly through these preliminary stages.
Uh-huh.
However, as I told you, I have just about made up my mind that I'll go through with the deal. So you can go into it as thoroughly as you like with Maudie.
Oh, swell. Well, I got to run.
Yes. You're along, my boy. And give my very best wishes to Maudie.
Oh, I sure will. And, Dad, I don't know how to thank you for all the confidence you're showing in me, but you know how much I appreciate it.
Yes. You're proving yourself worthy of my confidence, Clifford. And let me say that I'm being more than repaid for anything I might do by your industry and success. Yes. It's most gratifying, and I'm very proud of what you have done.
Thank you, Dad. Well, I'm late, so...
You have the keys to my car?
Oh, yeah.
That's fine. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah, okay. Well, good night, Dad.
Good night.
Hi, Paul Socks.
Hi.
We'll be seeing you.
Paul?
Yes, Dad?
Would you mind coming in here a moment?
Yeah, sure. Seems to me that Cliff gets higher in the clouds every day.
Yeah. Have you a few minutes to spare, Paul? Yeah? Going out?
I'm going over to Jack's to see Nicolette after a bit. No hurry.
Good. Sit down. I want to discuss something with you.
Okay.
Where's your mother?
She's up in her sewing room.
Yes, if she should happen to come down while I'm telling you this, we'll change the subject.
What are you going to do, surprise her with something?
Well, not exactly. As I told Clifford, I'd prefer not going into this with her right now. It's purely a business matter, and your mother might not be in full agreement with everything that I have in mind.
Oh, and what is that?
Paul, if Clifford were to get married and had a business of his own, I think that Clifford would go through life a very successful and happy man.
Oh?
Yes. You recall my mentioning to you a while back that I had talked to Emmett Harper, the real estate man over here on Geary Street?
Yes.
At the time, I believe I told you that he was getting on in years and was thinking of retiring, or at least to some extent. He doesn't wish to carry the full load of the business anymore.
Uh-huh.
Well, he called me this morning and I went to see him. He said he was definitely going to sell a half interest in his real estate business and wanted to know if I was still interested in buying into it for Clifford. He wants a younger man with ambition, and eventually he'll get out of it entirely.
I see.
Now, it seems to me that this is almost ideal for Clifford. It'll take him a couple of years before he passes his real estate board examination and is granted a broker's license. But in the meantime, if he were with Mr. Harper, he would be able to work through him and with him. And at the end of a couple of years, if all went as well as I expected will, Clifford will be able to take over completely. Yeah, well, what's your opinion, my boy?
Well, I'm sure you're a far better judge of the business side of it than I am, and as far as Cliff's concerned, it sounds as though it'd be a fine opportunity for him, Dan. There is one thing I don't quite understand, though, and that's about this marriage you spoke of. Are you making the purchase contingent on whether he gets married?
Well, certainly not. I simply mention it to Clifford in passing. Why, if I decide to go through with this, I'll have to do it within the next few days, so how can any plans he might have possibly bear on my decision?
Well, it's all right, Dad. I'm just asking, that's all.
It could very well be, of course, that once he is established in business for himself, it will give him an incentive to settle down and further his stability. And, well, if he should happen to get married, well, all the better.
Mm-hmm. When you speak of marriage, I assume you're thinking of Maudie.
Do you know of any other young lady that Clifford is keeping company with?
No.
Then I think we can assume that I had Maudie in mind.
Suppose either of them or both should decide against it.
Paul, why do you always persist in finding some kind of argument?
I'm not arguing, Dan. I'm just supposing. Is it so impossible that they might come to such a decision?
Well, anything's possible, I imagine, but your supposition is not likely if I'm any judge of the way that this relationship has been progressing.
Was Cliff going to see Maudie tonight?
Yes. I told him that he was free to tell her all about my plan.
Well, Dad, when you make up your mind to bring something about, you work very smoothly. I'll say that for you.
What's that mean?
It simply means that if Clifford does meet any resistance from Maudie, you've given him a mighty persuasive weapon to work with.
Huh? You think he might meet with resistance?
You just got through saying anything is possible, and that's certainly true when it comes to a man and a woman.
Well, I don't blame you for being absolutely thrilled to death, Clifford.
Yeah, it really is pretty swell, Dad, all right.
He's so cute. He's simply mad about you, Cliff. You certainly couldn't have any doubt about that now.
Sure bowled me over when he told me. Of course, as I told you, it isn't set yet. He's still dickering with this Emmett Harper, but, well, not exactly dickering either. Dad said they'd agreed on terms and everything. They just haven't signed any papers. So the whole deal could fall through.
Want to make a bet it doesn't? No, sir. Clifford Barbour will be a partner in a real estate firm before this month is over, or my name isn't Maud Esther Pemberton.
Was that your middle name, Esther?
Mm-hmm. Didn't they load me with awful names?
Oh, I think they're nice. They kind of go with you somehow.
Maud. Up in the country where I come from, they always name mules Maud. I bet my old man did it out of spite. You Barbers all have good names, I think.
I don't think Clifford is so hot.
What's wrong with it? Clifford, Claudia, Jack, Paul. I think they're swell. Simple, but sort of substantial, you know? They seem to fit all of you.
I like the name of Paul. If I ever have another son, that's what I'm going to name him. Do you like Paul?
Mm-hmm. Like the name, like the guy, what's more.
Well, funny how names and personalities seem to go together. Harper and Barbour. That sounds strange.
Oh, your future partner. I didn't know who you were talking about.
Barbour and Harper. That sound better?
Much. Oh, I'd insist on having my name first.
Oh, I don't think you'd go for it. I'm the guy who's coming in.
Oh, tell him it has to be Barbour and Harper. Euphony demands it. I bet if you mention it to your dad, he'll put it over.
Oh, yeah, he usually gets what he goes after.
What's so funny?
Oh, I'm just thinking about Dad. You know something that would please him more than anything else in the world, Maudie?
What?
I'll give you a clue. He thinks that one Maudie Esther Pemberton is just about the greatest person he's ever come across. You know that, don't you?
Well, hooray for him.
Well?
Well, what? Tell him I'm glad he likes me, and I think he's pretty grand himself. What are we doing here, trade lass or whatever you call them?
Look, baby, I was giving you a clue.
Oh, I forgot all about that. Even forgot what the riddle was.
No, okay, all right, forget it. I'll go at this another way.
Say, what is this? You're being very mysterious, it seems to me. This big business deal make you a little giddy?
Yeah, I guess I am a little. But look, Maudie, well, what I was trying to say was that when I was talking to Dad just before I came over here, he practically came right out and said that I ought to get married.
Oh?
Yeah, and, well, I've been thinking a lot about it lately. I think Dad's right. How about it? Will you marry me, Maudie?
That's terribly sweet, Clifford. But I can't give you an answer. Not right now.
Why?
Because it's going to take a lot of thinking about. An awful lot.
The Barbours will be back in just a moment. Friends, remember, this is the danger season for colds, so be prepared. Get a package of Tabson from your drugstore and keep Tabson on hand all of the time to relieve the discomforts of a cold. That's T-A-B-C-I-N, Tabson, the bright red tablets in the bright red package. Try this new and different type cold tablet. Find out how Tabson can help you. Yes, when you take cold, take Tabson, quick. Tabson is especially formulated to help check the sniffles and sneezes of your cold. Tabson helps to ease the headache and reduce the fever, which so often accompany a cold. Tabson is easy to take. It leaves no unpleasant aftertaste, and it offers most complete relief from cold misery. Yes, we feel sure you'll be satisfied with Tabson. There's no finer combination formula for relief of cold symptoms that medical science has developed. The minute you begin to sneeze, take an easy-to-swallow Tabson tablet. See how quickly Tabson eases your cold discomforts. Be sure you ask your druggist for Tabson, T-A-B-C-I-N, Tabson, the bright red tablets in the bright red package made by the makers of Alka-Seltzer. Here's the family again.
Well, Maudie, have you thought enough yet?
About what?
Look, baby, I proposed to you, remember?
Yes, Clifford. I remember very well.
Okay, what's the dope?
I told you I had to think. And when I make up my mind to say yes or no, I'll mean it.
Remember, friends, if you feel a cold coming on, for fast relief from your misery, take Tabson, quick. Feel better, quick. T-A-B-C-I-N, Tabson, now at all drugstores. Tabson is the improved antihistaminic tablet made by the makers of Alka-Seltzer. Tabson relieves sniffles and sneezes, the watering and itching of the eyes and nose. But Tabson does more. It can also relieve quickly and effectively the aches and pains of a cold and reduce the fever of a cold. That's Tabson, T-A-B-C-I-N, for colds. The bright red tablets in the bright red package. One Man's Family is brought to you every weekday night at this time, transcribed by Miles Laboratories, makers of Alka-Seltzer. Monday, Henry decides to close a deal. Chapter 16, Book 82. This is a Carlton E. Morse production, directed by Michael Raffetto.